And again, you've heard that the law said to the people of long ago, you shall not perjure yourself. Instead, make sure you keep the oaths you swear to the Lord. But I tell you, don't swear at all. Don't swear by heaven, because it's the throne of God. Don't swear by the earth, because it's God's footstool. Don't swear by Jerusalem, because it's the city of the great king. Don't even swear by your head, because you're not able to make a single hair white or black. Simply say yes or no. More than this comes from the evil one. You've heard that the law said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I tell you, don't resist someone who is evil. If someone slaps you on the right cheek, turn the other cheek to them as well. If someone wants to sue you in court and takes your shirt, give them your coat too. If someone demands that you go 1 mile, go with them too. Give to those who ask you, and don't turn away those who want to borrow from you. Now a man called Ananias, with his wife Sapphira, sold some property. He kept back some of the money he received for himself and brought the rest to present to the apostles. His wife knew what he was doing. Then Peter asked him, Ananias, why did you let Satan convince you to lie to the Holy Spirit and keep back some of the money from the land you sold? While you had the land, didn't it belong to you? And after you sold it, didn't you still have control over what you did with the money? Why did you decide to do this? You haven't lied to human beings, but to God. Hearing these words, Ananias fell down and died. Everyone who heard what happened was terrified. Some of the young men got up and wrapped him in a shroud. Then they carried him out and buried him. About 3 hours later, his wife arrived, not knowing what had happened. Peter asked her, tell me, did you sell the land for this price? Yes, that was the price, she replied. Then Peter told her, how could you agree together to swindle the Spirit of the Lord? Look, those who buried your husband are just returning, and they'll carry you out too. Immediately, she fell down dead at his feet. The young men came back in and found her dead, so they carried her out and buried her beside her husband. Great fear spread through the whole church, as well as among everyone who heard what had happened. For the music director, a psalm of David. How long, Lord, are you going to forget me? Forever? How long will you turn away from me? How long must I be in inner turmoil, feeling sad all day long? How long will my enemy be victorious over me? Think about this and answer me, Lord my God. Give me back my strength, otherwise I'm going to die, and my enemy will say, I defeated him, and my opponents will celebrate my downfall. But I trust in your never-failing love. I will be happy because you saved me. I will sing to the Lord because he has treated me with such generosity. Don't hold back good from those who deserve it, when it's something you have the power to do. Don't tell your neighbor, go away, come back tomorrow, and then I'll give it to you when you've already got it. Don't plan to harm your neighbor who lives nearby and trusts you. Don't quarrel with anybody for no reason, when they haven't done anything to hurt you. Abraham married another wife. Her name was Keturah. She had the following sons: Zimran, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shua. Jokshan was the father of Sheba and Dedan. The descendants of Dedan were the Asherites, the Letushites, and the Lumites. The sons of Midian were Ephah, Epher, Hanok, Abida, and Eldah. These were all descendants of Keturah. Abraham left everything he owned to Isaac. But while he was still alive, he gave gifts to the sons of his concubines and sent them to live in the east, well away from Isaac. Abraham lived to be 175 when he breathed his last and died at a good old age. He had lived a full life, and now he joined his forefathers in death. His sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah near Mamre, in the field that had belonged to Ephron, son of Zohar, the Hittite. This was the field Abraham had bought from the Hittites. Abraham was buried there with his wife Sarah. After Abraham's death, God blessed his son Isaac, who was living near Beer-lahai-roi. This is the genealogy of Abraham's son Ishmael. His mother Hagar was Sarah's Egyptian slave. These were the names of the sons of Ishmael according to their family genealogy: Nebaioth, firstborn; Kedar, Adbeel, Mibsam, Mishma, Dumah, Massa, Hadad, Tema, Jetur, Naphish, and Kedemah. These were the sons of Ishmael, and these became the names of the places where they lived and camped, the 12 family rulers of their tribes. Ishmael lived to be 137. Then he breathed his last and died, and joined his forefathers in death. Ishmael's descendants inhabited the region from Havilah to Shur, near the border of Egypt in the direction of Ashur. They were forever fighting with one another. The following is the genealogy of Abraham's son Isaac. Abraham was the father of Isaac. When Isaac was 40, he married Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel the Aramean from Paddan Aram and the sister of Laban the Aramean. Isaac prayed to the Lord for help on behalf of his wife, because she couldn't have children. The Lord answered his prayer, and she became pregnant. The twin babies inside her struggled with each other. So she asked the Lord, "Why is this happening to me?" "You have two nations inside you," the Lord replied. "You're going to give birth to two peoples who will compete against each other. One will be stronger than the other. The older one will be the servant of the younger one." When the time came, she gave birth to twins. The first baby to be born was red and covered with hair like a coat. So they named him Esau. Then his twin brother was born, holding on to Esau's heel. So he was named Jacob. Isaac was 60 when they were born. The boys grew up, and Esau became a skilled hunter at home in the countryside. Jacob was quiet and liked to stay at home in the tents. Isaac loved Esau because he brought him tasty wild game to eat, while Rebekah loved Jacob. One day Jacob was cooking some stew when Esau got back from the countryside, tired out and starving hungry. "Give me some of that red stew," Esau told Jacob. "I'm absolutely starving." That's how Esau got his other name, Edom, meaning red. "First sell me your rights as the firstborn son," Jacob replied. "Look, I'm dying here. What use are the rights of the firstborn to me?" Esau declared. "First you have to swear to me," Jacob demanded. So Esau swore an oath selling his rights of the firstborn to Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau some bread and lentil stew. He ate and drank, and then he got up and left. By doing this, Esau showed how little he cared for his rights as the firstborn son. There was a famine in the country, not the one that happened before in Abraham's time, but a later one. So Isaac moved to Gerar in the territory of Abimelech, king of the Philistines. The Lord appeared to Isaac and told him, "Don't go to Egypt. Live in the country that I tell you to. Stay here in this country. I will be with you, and I will bless you, because I'm going to give you and your descendants all these lands. I will keep the solemn promise that I swore to Abraham your father. I will make your descendants as numerous as the stars of heaven, and I will give them all these lands. All the nations of the earth will be blessed by your descendants, because Abraham did what I told him and kept my requirements, my commands, my regulations, and my laws." So Isaac stayed in Gerar. When the men there asked him about his wife, he told them, "She's my sister," because he was afraid. He said to himself, "If I say she's my wife, the men here will kill me to get Rebekah because she's so beautiful." But later on, after he'd been there a while, Abimelech, king of the Philistines, happened to look out the window and saw Isaac lovingly fondling his wife Rebekah. Abimelech sent for Isaac and complained, "From what I saw, she's clearly your wife." He said, "Why on earth did you say, 'She's my sister'? Because I thought I'd be killed because of her." Isaac replied, "Why would you do this to us?" Abimelech asked, "One of the men here might have slept with your wife, and you would have made us all guilty." Abimelech issued orders to all the people, warning them, "Anyone who touches this man or his wife will be executed." Isaac sowed grain that year, and the Lord blessed him with a harvest that was 100 times what he planted. He became a rich man, and his wealth steadily increased until he was very rich. He owned many flocks of sheep and herds of cattle, as well as many slaves. He had so much that the Philistines became jealous of him. So the Philistines used dirt to block up all the wells his father Abraham's servants had dug. Then Abimelech told Isaac, "You have to leave our country, because you've become much too powerful for us." So Isaac moved away and set up his tents in the Gerar Valley, where he settled down. He unblocked the wells that had been dug in his father Abraham's time, the ones the Philistines had blocked after the death of Abraham. He gave them the same names his father had: Isaac's servants also dug a new well in the valley and found spring water. But the herdsmen from Gerar argued with Isaac's herdsmen, claiming, "That's our water." So Isaac named the well Argument because they argued with him. He had another well dug, and they argued over that one too. He named the well Opposition. So they moved on from there, and he had another well dug. This time there was no argument, so he named the well Freedom, saying, "Now the Lord has given us freedom to expand and be successful in this land." From there he moved on to Beersheba. That night the Lord appeared to him and said, "I am the God of Abraham, your father. Don't be afraid, for I am with you. I will bless you and give you many descendants for the sake of my servant Abraham." Isaac built an altar and worshiped the Lord. He also set up his tent, and his servants dug a well there. Sometime later Abimelech came from Gerar to see Isaac, along with Ahuzzath his advisor, and Phicol the commander of his army. "Why have you come to see me?" Isaac asked them. "Previously you hated me and told me to leave. Now we realize that the Lord is with you," they replied. "So we agreed that we should make a sworn agreement with you. You'll promise not to harm us in the same way we've never hurt you. You'll agree that we've always treated you well, and when we asked you to leave, we did so kindly. Now look at how the Lord is blessing you." So Isaac had a special meal prepared to celebrate the agreement. They ate and drank, and got up early in the morning, and they each swore oaths to one another. Then Isaac sent them on their way, and they left in peace. It was that very day when Isaac's servants who'd been digging a well came and told him, "We've found water." So Isaac named the well Oath, and that's why the name of the town is Well of the Oath, Beersheba, to this day. When Esau was 40, he married Judith, daughter of Beeri the Hittite, as well as Basemath, daughter of Elon the Hittite. They caused Isaac and Rebekah a great deal of grief.